Like how a faraz is compulsory, a wajib is also compulsory. But the only thing is that the proof that suggests it is wajib, the proof that suggests it is compulsory, it is not as strong. So if a person denies it, it does not come out of the fold of Islam. You understand what I'm saying? So that's also correct. Witr Salah is from amongst the Sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu. Is close to Farz, so cannot leave it. Okay, that is correct. It's not incorrect. But a wajib is that with regards to amal, with regards to practicing upon it, you have to practice upon it. You have no choice of not practicing upon it, right? Like our faraz, you have no choice of doing it or leaving it out. Like a faraz, you have no choice of doing it or not doing it. You have no choice of leaving it out, right? Are you with me? But only thing is, because the proof that suggests it is compulsory, the proof that suggests it is compulsory, it is not so strong. So that if a person denies it and says, I do not accept the witr namaz, then such a person will not come out of the fold of Islam. You understood that? Now, when something is faraz and a person says, I do not accept it, a person will come out of the fold of Islam. Hypothetically, if a person says, I do not accept Zohr namaz is faraz, that person is a kafir. If a person says, I don't accept that you have to fast in the month of Ramadan, that person is a kafir. If that person says, I do not accept that Hajj is faraz, that person become a kafir, you understood? So that is the difference, the subtle difference between a wajib and with farz. I'll repeat it again. A wajib is similar to a farz. A wajib is similar to a farz in that you have to practice upon both. And if you leave both out, you have to do a qada salah. If you leave both out, you have to do a qada salah. But a wajib is different to a farz in the sense that if you deny a wajib, you deny a farz, you reject a farz, you say, I do not accept that this is farz. I do not accept that to do hajj is farz. I do not accept to do zohr is farz. I do not accept to do this is farz. Then you come out of the fold of Islam. But if somebody rejects a wajib, he says, I do not accept that witr namaz is wajib, then you do not come out of the fold of Islam. So with regards to practicing, the practice, with regards to the obligation of practicing, I repeat, with regards to the obligation of practicing upon a farz and a wajib, they are both the same. They are both the same. But with regards to the denying of a farz and a wajib, there's a difference. If a person denies a wajib, he does not come out of the fold of Islam. But if he denies a farz, he will come out of the fold of Islam. Is that clear? You understood that? So see there, al-witru wajibun. Witr is wajib in Abi Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, according to Hanifa. But waqala sunnatun. Sahibain said it's a normal sunnat, like how you get your 4 sunnats before Zuhr, you get your 2 sunnats after Maghrib, etc., etc. وقال سنة. Why? لظهور آثار السنن فيه. Because it has all the signs of a sunnah. What does it have? It has the signs of the sunnah. And what are the signs of sunnah? One says, لا يكفر جاحدها. The person who denies it is not made a kafir. ولا يؤذن له. You don't give like normally faraz namaz. You give a separate azan. Yeah, you do not give a separate azan for what? For witr. So these are the signs of sunnah. So these are the proofs, right? What are these? The proofs of sahibain to show that it is not farz or it is not wajib. It is what you say optional. You understand what I'm saying? Read the next one.
ولأبي حنيفة رحمه الله قوله عليه الصلاة والسلام إن الله تعالى زادكم صلاة ألا وهي الوتر فصلوها ما بين ما بين العشاء إلى طلوع الفجر.
Right. So what is Imam? Look here, if you know, you've done this in your Mishkat Sharif, ne? You've done in Mishkat Sharif, ne? There's a lot of proofs here. This big book here, the idea is not to give the proofs. The big book is just to give you the masla and give you 1-2 proofs. But inshallah, if you do, when you do Abu Dawud Sharif, when you do Muslim Sharif, and especially Tirmidhi Sharif, because Tirmidhi Sharif focuses a lot on the fiqh, then there you will do multitudes of proofs. You will do multitude of proofs. Here you just do some random proofs, right? So, Wali Abi Hanifata, Imam Abu Hanifa says, why he says wajib? That if you do it, if you don't do it, you have to make qadha of it the next day, etc., etc. And then if a person doesn't read his witr in his whole life, then you must make wasiyat. You can make wasiyat that I think the current fidya is about 30 rand, 28 rand, 30 rand, 32 rand, 34 rand. You must pay that 35 rand, whatever, for every witr you must write. So this is his proof. He says, many proofs, I told you, if you look in the hadith books, many proofs. There's a book there, that grey book there, you see. Now, I remember that Mishkat Sharif was ordered by Shafi, right? So it got mostly the Shafi proofs. But that grey book there, it has got all the Hanafi proofs, right? So if you want to see any proofs for the Hanafi madhab, then you must look in, it's in the same tartib, abwab form, like Mishkat Sharif. So you got all the Hanafi proofs, right? So Ali Abi Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, for Imam Hanifa, what is his proof to say that the witr is not sunnah but is wajib? Qawluhu alayhi salam, the statement of Nabi Sallallahu Inna Allah zadakum salatan. Verily Allah Ta'ala has increased for you one salat. Zadakum salatan. Allah and no, wahiya al-witru. It is the extra salah is witr. So, if it was optional, why would you say Allah Ta'ala has increased for you salah? And why are you attributing it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because normally sunnah salat are attributed to who? To Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And farz salah attributed to who? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, inna Allah za'adakum salatan. Allah ta'ala has increased for your salah. Ala wa hiya al-witr. Now it is a witr. فَصَلُّوهَا بَيْنَ الْإِشَاءِ إِلَى طُلُوعِ الْفَجْرِ. So read it from what is between Isha, after you read your Isha Salah, Ma Bayn al-Isha ila Tulwa al-Fajri, to the rising of the Fajr, you will read it, right? Carry on. So see, Nabi Sallallahu said, فَصَلُّوهَا. So pray it, you know, this is Amr, this is a command, Sikha. صلى يصلي 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 يصلوا لتصلي صلي صلي يا صلوا. So فصلوها, right? So read it. أمر للوجوب. أمر is for compulsion. أمر للوجوب. أمر للright. بالإجماع. And another proof to say that it is compulsory and it is not optional is that, look here, all the ulama say that if you miss your witr salah, what must you do? You must make qadha. So the fact that you must make qadha, it shows you what? That it is necessary. When you miss your sunnats for Zohr, when you miss your sunnats for Asr, do you make qadha of it? No, you don't make qadha of it. So the fact that you have to make qadha of it, shows you that it is compulsory, right? ولهذا وجب القضاء بالإجماع. For this reason that qadha is wajib بالإجماع. According to all the ulama, carry on.
فإنما لم يكفر جاحده لأن وجوبه ثبت بالسنة.
Right. So if somebody say, okay, right, you say now it is necessary to do it. But tell us now, if somebody denies the compulsion of witr, somebody says witr is not compulsory. If somebody says witr is not compulsory, will that person become a kafir? We say, no, you won't become a kafir. So you say that shows it's not compulsory, because when a person denies a compulsory thing, When a person denies a compulsory thing, he comes out of the fold of Islam, right? Here, they deny something, but they never come out of the fold of Islam. So that shows it's not compulsory. You understand what I'm saying? So the answer is say, وَإِنَّمَا لَا يُكَفَّرُ جَاحِدُهَا. The only reason why the person who denies it does not become a kafir, لِأَنَّ وُجُوبَهُ ثَبَتَ بِسُنَّةِ. Because لِأَنَّ وُجُوبَهُ is compulsion, right? It's compulsion. ثَبَتَ بِسُنَّةِ. It has been established through the sunnah, right? وَهُوَ الْمَعْنَى. And this is what is meant بما روي أنه سنة. When we say certain riwayats, they say that witr namaz is sunnat, like sunnat, we don't mean the technical meaning of sunnat. We don't mean the technical meaning of sunnat, which is that if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it, etc., etc. But rather, what do we mean? We mean it is been something which has been proven from the sunnat. We mean it is something that has been proven from the sunnah, right? And then if somebody says, okay, it doesn't have the sign of a compulsory salah, because a compulsory salah normally has an azan, and a compulsory salah has an iqama. This doesn't have azan, this doesn't have iqama, so it shouldn't be compulsory. So we say, وَهُوَ يُؤَدَّى فِي وَقْتِ الْعِشَاءِ. This, the reason why it doesn't have an azan, it's not because it's not necessary, because وَهُوَ يُؤَدَّى فِي وَقْتِ الْعِشَاءِ. It is discharged in the time of Isha. فَاقْتُفِيَ بِأَذَانِهِ وَإِقَامَتِهِ. So it will be sufficed with the azan and the iqamat of the Isha. You understood that? Okay, carry on.
قال مثل ثلاث ركعات لا يفصل بينهن بسلام لما روت عائشة رضي الله عنها أنه صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يوتر بالثلاث. وحكى الحسن رحمه الله إجماع المسلمين على الثلاث.
Right. الوتر ثلاث ركعات لا يفصل بينهن بسلام. Important masla here, especially when you go to a Shafi masjid or you go to the Haramain Sharifain, then they read 2 rakats, then they make salam, and then they read 1 rakat. But according to the Hanafi madhab, al-witru thalathu raka'atin. According to the Hanafi madhab, witr is 3 rakats, la yafsilu baynahunna bi salamin. You will not separate between them with a salam. La yafsilu baynahunna bi salamin. Why? So in other words, you after the first 2 rakats, you make tashahud, and after tashahud, you stand up directly and you make the 3rd rakat, right? Right? So la yafsilu baynahu bi salamin. Lima rawat Aisha too, because of what has Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha narrated, أنه عليه السلام, that Nabi Sallam كان يوتر بثلاث, that he used to make witr with 3 rakats. وحكى الحسن رحمه الله تعالى إجماع المسلمين على الثلاث. And as Hassan Basri رحمه الله تعالى, he has narrated unanimity, consensus of all the Muslims على الثلاث for 3 rakats, right? Carry on. So this is also one of the aqwal. It means according to Imam Shafi, you can read it 2 salam and 1, and you can also read it as what? As 3 together, like how the Hanafis read it. That is why we say that the Shafis, if they know they got Hanafis in their majma, in their congregation, let them read 3 one time, like how the Hanafis, because it's also permitted in their madhab, and they will be accommodating the Hanafis also, understood. Right? وهذا أحد أقوال الشافعي. وفي كلام. Yeah. Then in one call of the Shafis also, yutiru bitaslimataini, you make 2 salams. What does it mean? You make witr with 2 salams. Luqman, what does it mean you make witr with 2 salams? Right? Right. وفي قول يوتر بتسليمتين وهو قول مالك, and that is the call of Imam Malik also that you read 2, salam, stand up 1, right? وَالْحُجَّةُ عَلَيْهِمَا مَا رَوَيْنَاهُ. The proof against him is what we narrated, what we narrate there. الْوِتْرُ ثَلَاثُ رَكَعَاتٍ لَا يَصِلُ بَيْنَهُمَا بِسَلَامٍ لِمَا رَوَتْ عَائِشَةُ أنه عليه السلام كان يوتر بثلاث, right? And also وحكى الحسن رحمه الله تعالى إجماع المسلمين على الثلاث. I told you that maybe sometimes only 1 or 2 proofs are mentioned here, but if you look at the hadith books, the shuruhat, the commentaries of the hadith books, you will find many proofs there, right? Here you get 1 or 2 proofs, right? Carry on, let's do another ibadah before we terminate. Right. So another difference between the Hanafis and the Shafis, وَيَقْنُتُ فِي الثَّالِثَةِ قَبْلَ الرُّكُوعِ. Before you go into ruku, you will make the what? You will recite the qunut, right? Carry on.
وقال الشافعي رحمه الله بعده.
Right. So according to Imam Shafi, you go into ruku, and once you come out of ruku, what we call it qawma, eh? So in the qawma, that is where you will stand and you will read the qunut, right? Yeah, because what's our proof to say you must do it? So Imam Shafi says, why must you do it after the ruku? Because because what is narrated, Anna alayhi salam, that Nabi qadata fi akhir al-witr. So they say, look here, the end part of witr is after the ruku. The end part of witr is after the ruku. لما روي عنه السلام قنت في آخر الوتر, right? So right, we got clear riwayat. ولنا ما روي, what has been narrated, أنه عليه السلام, that Nabi sallallahu قنت قبل الركوع. He made qunut before the ruku. We got clear riwayat that he made qunut before the ruku. So in this next وَمَا زَادَ عَلَى نِصْفِ الشَّيْءِ آخِرُهُ, we're saying the fact that the riwayat says that Nabi Sallam read witr towards the end of the ruku doesn't necessarily mean it must be the fact that the riwayat says Nabi Sallam read his qunut towards the end of the witr doesn't mean it must be after ruku. It can be anyway past halfway. The moment you pass half of something, you towards the end of it, isn't it? That's why in Ramadan, you see, after the 15th night, they already say Al-Widaya Ramadan. The Malay people, they think Al-Widaya Ramadan. So the moment you finish half, you're already to the end. So doing it before ruku is still meaning you're doing it at the end because you already passed the half. You understood that? So that's how we answer that one there. Okay, let's stop there. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanallah bihamdihi. Subhanakallah bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah wa nastaghfiruka.